Hello, welcome to Verbling, www.verbling.com. Hi, I'm Teacher Oakley, and as we've been doing at this time uh, this week, once again, we're going to look at sentence structure. 2 days ago, we talked about simple sentences, or also known as AKA independent clauses. Yesterday, we looked at compound sentences, two independent clauses connected together uh, with either a connective fanboys, for and nor, but, uh, or an adverbial connective, an adverb, like consequently. Choo, choo, choo. Okay, today we're going to look at complex sentences. Complex sentences, don't be scared, don't be nervous. Complex sentences are really not that complex. Actually, they're easier to understand than our lesson yesterday with compound sentences. Actually, complex sentences, that's just a name. Don't be worried. Actually, they're very easy to understand. Okay. I start to wonder if I'm actually broadcasting on Verbling here. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I am. Okay, had to double check that since no one's here yet. Okay, today we're going to look at how to form a complex sentence. We'll look at how to do it, and we will practice doing it. We're going to talk a little bit about subordinators, subordinate clauses. First, you have to understand what is a dependent and what is an independent, dependent and independent clause. An independent clause is the same thing as a simple sentence. It is the definition of a sentence. It must have a subject and a verb, and it must make sense. It must be a complete idea. I am mad. That is a complete idea. Because I am mad. That is not a complete idea. That is a dependent clause. I must. It depends on being attached to another clause or phrase so it can make sense. Because I am mad. If I just said that to you, it would make absolutely no sense at all. You would think, Oakley's crazy. He's nuts. It doesn't make sense. That is an that is a dependent clause. It depends on another phrase in order to make it make sense. That is really just about all you have to know about forming compound and complex sentences. It's quite simple, actually. Okay. I'm sick of waiting for students to show up, so I'm just going to start the lesson. So there, yeah. What is a complex sentence? A complex sentence has one dependent clause. What I just talked about. A phrase that doesn't make any sense at all by itself. A dependent clause headed or begun by a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun. Okay. which is joined to an independent clause or simple sentence. Looking at some examples here. Example A, although Tom reads novels, Jack reads comics. Okay, that word although is called a subordinator. It makes the clause a subordinate clause. Subordinate clause is the same thing as a dependent clause. It needs some help. If I just said to you, although Tom reads novels, again, you would think I've lost my marbles. I've gone insane. By itself, that phrase makes absolutely no sense at all. Hey, Mike, although Tom reads novels, and then I say nothing. Obviously, I've gone insane. That's because I'm speaking with just a dependent clause or a subordinate clause. Now, in example A, we have although Tom reads novels, then a comma. The next phrase, Jack reads comics. Well, Jack is a noun. It's a subject noun. Jack does an action. He reads. There's a verb. I have a subject and a verb. Hooray, hooray. I'm well on my way to making a simple sentence or an independent clause. Jack reads comics. Comics is the object noun. Classic independent clause. A noun does an action to another noun. All right. I drink water. I do an action, drink, to something, with something, for something, or at something, water. Thus, an independent clause. Okay. Every sentence, be it simple, compound, complex, compound, complex, must contain an independent clause. Jack reads comics is a complete idea. And if I said to you, Jack reads comics, well, by Gorham and by gum, that actually makes some sense. If I said to you, although Tom reads novels, it would make no sense. Thus, it is a dependent clause. Now, please note, in example B, Jack reads comics, although Tom reads novels. I can reverse these two clauses. The dependent and independent clause can go in either order. It makes absolutely no difference and changes nothing except in writing. If I have the dependent clause first, I need to have a comma. If I do not, I don't need a comma. That's it. Now, example C, Jack Smith, who reads comics, rarely reads novels. Now, we have in the middle of the sentence, separated by two commas, we have a dependent clause. If I said to you, who reads comics? Well, not as a question, who reads comics? But as a statement, that would make no sense at all. Thus, it is a dependent clause. This is called a relative clause. It has a relative pronoun, who. Pronouns refer to something else which has already been stated. Most pronouns, he, she, it, they, we, refer to something that's already been stated. A relative pronoun also does that, but a relative pronoun refers back to Jack Smith. Jack Smith, who reads comics. Who is Jack Smith? He reads comics. He refers to Jack Smith. Who refers to Jack Smith. It is a type of pronoun called a relative pronoun. In this case, the middle dependent clause is actually totally unnecessary. I can dissect the sentence, throw away who reads comics, and say Jack Smith rarely reads novels, and there I have a simple sentence. I have an independent clause. This is another form of complex sentence. Okay. Example D. People who read comics rarely read novels. I really have the same thing here. Notice there's no commas. I again have a relative pronoun, a relative clause, who read comics. People rarely read novels would be the independent clause. So looking at the punctuation, A, B, C, D. These are the forms of a complex sentence. As far as writing, this is how they look. I have a dependent clause, and then a comma, and then independent clause. Or really the same thing, an independent clause and a dependent clause with no comma. I don't need a comma when I'm writing if I structure the sentence in this way. C, with a relative clause, I have an independent. Notice independent and clause, the words are separated. They're separated by using two commas. An independent, non-essential dependent clause, or a relative clause. Non-essential, it is not necessary. I can remove it from the sentence entirely without actually changing the meaning of the sentence. It is stuck right in the middle of the independent clause. Or punctuation structure D, again, independent clause with essential dependent clause. In other words, I actually need this dependent clause to make it make sense. People who read comics rarely read novels. Okay. Where is everyone today? Okay. Let's start over. A complex sentence has an independent clause joined by one or more dependent clauses. A complex sentence always has a subordinator, such as because, since, after, often time phrases, after, when, for example, and many others. Or, whoops, dang, okay, or a relative pronoun, that, who, which. Relative pronouns, relative clauses, that's a lesson for another day, but very simply, the man that I sold the car to is a thief. Or I can say the man who I sold the car to is a thief. I sometimes have a choice, that or who. The car, which I sold to the man, is a piece of junk. The car that I sold to the man is a piece of junk. Here, oh man, what happened here? Wow, okay, things have gone crazy here. Hang on. I'm going to reopen this thing because... All right, well, there he goes. Now, here we see some examples in which the subjects are yellow. The subjects are nouns, always, of course. Subject nouns, or subjects, are always nouns. The verbs are indicated by being highlighted in green. The verb is the action, and subordinators are red, and commas where they are required, also in red. Subordinators, you notice, looking at the examples, when, after, because. Often subordinators have to do with time, and the sentence doesn't make sense unless we have a subordinate clause which indicates time. This is very common. Okay, looking at these examples. When he handed in his homework, comma. Okay, that's because we have a dependent clause first. We need a comma here in order for it to make sense, because if I just said when he handed in his homework, it doesn't make sense. It's not a true sentence. It's not an independent clause. When he handed in his homework, he forgot to give the teacher the last page. Okay. He forgot to give the teacher the last page is an actual sentence. It is an independent clause. I can reverse that, of course. The teacher returned the homework after she noticed the error, or he forgot to give the teacher the last page when he handed in his homework. I don't need a comma if my dependent clause follows my independent clause. Okay? Example number 3, the students are studying because they have a test tomorrow. All right, so every time you form a sentence with because, you are forming a complex sentence. So I'm sure you have done this just dozens and dozens of times. The students are studying because they have a test tomorrow. Note, I can reverse this as well. Because they have a test tomorrow, comma, the students are studying. Yes, you can start a sentence with a subordinator, like example number 1. Or our next example, number 4, after they finish studying, comma. Again, when our dependent clause goes first, we need a comma. After they finish studying, Juan and Maria went to the movies. And then finally, sentence 5, Juan and Maria went to the movies after they finished studying. Okay, we have a compound subject. What does that mean? We have more than one person, place, or thing doing the action. This is not a problem. This should not concern you. I could have a compound verb. I could say, for example, oh my gosh. Excuse me? Oh my goodness. I just broke my headphones. Such a violent sneeze that my headphones just broke. Wow. This is not good. Okay. I could say, for example, Juan and Maria went to the movies and bought popcorn after they finished studying. There's no problem with that. I have a double subject, I have a double verb, or compound subject and compound verb in the sentence. Not a problem. This is still a simple sentence or an independent clause. John and Maria went to the movies and bought popcorn is a complete thought. 2 people did 2 actions. Great. No problem. It is possible. When I add after they finish studying a time-based clause with a after as a subordinator, I have a complex sentence. Okay. Always this very simply when you begin a sentence with a subordinator or with the dependent clause, you're going to need a comma to separate the 2 clauses. When speaking, frankly, when you're speaking, you're going to add pauses. You're going to actually pause. That was a pause. When he handed in his homework, he forgot to give the teacher the last page. Notice when I say that, I do 2 things. I pause where there's a comma, and I actually have a final rising intonation as I finish the first clause. When he handed in his homework, my pitch rises at the end of the clause, which denotes the pause denotes the comma, and the pitch change denotes the comma. When I turn it around, he forgot to give the teacher the last page when he handed in his comma. I also use rising intonation, but the pause is much less exaggerated. Okay, not as important when you're speaking, but it still exists. The demarcation between the divider between the dependent and independent clauses, it's still there. It still exists. I'm very curious why no one has actually joined me today. I'm actually wondering. Look, I broke my headphone. Tragic. I'm actually wondering if, in fact, there's something wrong at Verbling. If any viewers out there, hi. If any viewers out there could type me a message, can you get into the class? Because I'm going to need to report this. I show all systems go, but on the other hand, I see many viewers and nobody in the classroom. I'm very curious if there is an issue with entering the class. You should be able to type a message here where I've just written test. It actually came up twice. Hi, Zhang, help. Thank you. Help me. Can you get in the class? Is it impossible to get in the class? What is the problem here? If any viewers could answer my question, is it impossible to get in the class? Please type into the Verbling chat a complete sentence. In other words, an independent clause with the with it is necessary that it makes sense. I cannot get into the class. That's a complete idea, or an independent clause. Okay. Because I'm trying, I can't get into the class. Okay, well, that's a complex sentence. So if someone could let me know, I might be able to do something about it. Or I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. Okay. I guess I'll continue doing what I'm doing. All right. Okay. Another form of complex sentence, adjective clauses. All right, relative clauses. Let's look at this a little more carefully. The woman who called my mom sells cosmetics. Now, if I was going to throw out who called my mom, the woman sells cosmetics, obviously that sentence by itself is a true sentence. It makes sense. It has a subject. It has a verb. No problem. The book that Jonathan read is on the shelf. Okay. The book is on the shelf is an independent clause. It's interrupted by this other information, which, this is the difficult part. It's difficult, but you don't really, actually, you don't even have to care. Is it essential information or is it unessential information? Frankly, that decides whether you use commas on either end of the phrase or not. So what should you do? Frankly, I just always add a comma. If you add a comma, then you're not really wrong. If you don't add a comma, sometimes you can be wrong. It's one of those weird things in English, frankly. Um, Zhang, that would be great. Are you joining now? Did you join? No, you're not. There must be some kind of problem here. I am terribly sorry, and I have to apologize if you guys are trying to get into this class. Believe me, I need you to join the class because I really need interaction to teach this lesson. Trust me. I want you to be able to join, but I don't know what to do because I show all systems go here. All right, I'm going to continue the lesson, so hopefully you can learn something. Near the end, I'm totally I'm gonna mess with this thing. We're gonna experiment, is what we're gonna do. Okay. Complex sentence is a sentence that contains one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. Because life is complex, we need complex sentences. The independent clause is in blue. The dependent clause is italicized. That's it. If I switch this around, again, we need complex sentences because life is complex. I don't need the comma. Another example, because people know that I'm an English teacher, they make allowances for how I dress and what I say. Look at this. This is a super complicated sentence. But if we dissect it, it's not that complicated to understand, but it is super complicated in regards to sentence structure. Why? Because this sentence, because people know that I'm an English teacher, they make allowances for how I dress and what I say. Notice when I read it and I speak it, I have many pauses and separations. That's probably because I grew up in an English-speaking country and I instantly recognize, my hardwired English-speaking brain instantly recognizes where phrases and clauses stop and start. Let me speak this again. Because people know that I'm an English teacher, they make allowances for how I dress and what I say. I broke that sentence into 5 parts when I was speaking. Why? Because in actuality, this sentence includes 4, yes, 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, dependent clauses. There is one independent clause which is interrupted or which includes 2 dependent clauses inside of it. Okay, this happens all the time. The independent clause here is they make allowances for how I dress and what I say. Now, italicized in blue, how I dress is a relative clause with a relative, basically a relative pronoun, and what I say is another one, which is included in the independent clause. They make allowances is actually, once I dissect or remove all the extra information, all the dependent clauses, they make allowances. All this garbage here, because people, English teacher, allowances, how dress, I want to say. Essentially, if I'm trying to comprehend this information, you know what I do? I get rid of all of the dependent clauses. I recognize what is the true sentence, what is the true independent clause, what is the simple sentence. They make allowances. Guess what? That is the only essential information in this entire sentence for understanding. for comprehension in reading. That is the only thing that actually makes any difference. I need you to understand, they make allowances. Okay. All of this extra garbage, sorry for my ridiculous pronunciation, all of this extra garbage is unnecessary for comprehension of the essential information. Because people know, okay, we start out with a subordinator because, oh my goodness, someone actually made it. Hooray. Savio, can you hear me? Savio? Hello? Savio, can you say hello again? What on earth is going on here? Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, Savio. I appreciate it. Not sure what's going on. Savio, you were here, you paid your ticket, so you might as well come back and we can test this thing out. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so a complex sentence can include more than one dependent clause, but it must have, the essential thing here is it must have an independent clause. Technical problems. Okay, now this is the part where I let you try sentences. Actually, several parts were where I try to let you make sentences. I really need somebody to try to join the class, so I know if I should shut this class down and try again. So let's try an experiment here. My headphone broke, which only adds to the problem. I don't know what's working, what's not. I need some help. Somebody who already bought a ticket, if someone could join the class, oh, that would help. Zhang.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wow.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Zhang. Where are you from?
I come from Hong Kong.
Oh, it's a beautiful city. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Wow. Okay. Thanks, Zhang. Is it Zhang? Is that correct? Am I pronouncing your name?
Zhang. Yes.
Zhang. Thank you. Well, Zhang, well, first of all, thank you very much for joining me. I now see that there is some freaky stuff going on here. Zhang, wow, your camera is like
Yes.
doing really weird things in my.
Because I'm finding some quiet place. I'm in my workplace, so I need to find some place I can talk.
Oh yeah. Okay. Run and hide. Okay. Let's try a complex sentence. Because Zhang is at work, he needs to be discreet. Ooh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's a complex sentence. Well, I can see, Zhang, thank you so much for joining me, because now I can see in the Hangout your picture is going like this, and there's some freaky stuff going on. Weird. And you are like hiding out at work. This is very exciting.
Yes.
Don't get caught.
I'm just don't want to interrupt my colleagues, so I need to someplace I can talk secretly.
Right, and don't get caught by your boss. either. More
Yes.
importantly, yeah. Okay, okay, tell me that you're ready to talk because I want you to try
Okay.
making
I
making
find another place. This place is at the gate.
super good.
Just with me for one moment, and I will enter
Sure.
again. Sorry.
Okay, that's great. Zong's ducking into the bathroom now. We're gonna have class in the bathroom. Uh, oh, Zong's gone. Wow, this is really exciting. I have no idea what's going on. Um, totally weird, man. Freaking me out. Uh, this class, okay, which is freaking me out, uh, is probably the strangest class I've ever taught. Oh, there's a complex sentence. This class, interrupted by, which is freaking me out, another comma, is probably the weirdest class I've ever taught. Okay, essential information or non-essential information, the relative clause in the middle. Frankly, as as the teacher here, to me that is pretty much essential information. I need you to know that I am absolutely freaking out. For you, the listener, maybe you could care less. Maybe it's not that essential. Hey, as so many rules in English work, actually, all verb tenses and most of the actual grammatical rules in English um, have to do with the attitude or the intention, or both, of the speaker. All right? They have sometimes just looking at it in a totally objective manner doesn't work in English because it's up to the intention of the speaker. Zhang, hi Zhang.
Yes. Yes. Finally found a place.
Great. Well, again, wow, the Hangout is doing some weird stuff. Okay, that I've never seen. Okay, Zhang, I have some. I don't know if you can see these. Heaven only knows. I don't know if you can see these examples, but
Yes, I can see it.
okay, terrific. I would like you, excuse me, first of all, to form a sentence with a subordinator, maybe with one of these words: because, since, after. Let's try after. Okay,
Okay.
Zhang, I would like you to form a sentence using the word after in the sentence. Anywhere in the sentence. I want to prove a point. Let's do an experiment here.
Yeah.
A blank document. Go ahead.
After having this class with you, I hope I can improve my fluency.
Okay. After having this class with you, not kid you. Sorry. With you. Okay.
I hope I can improve my fluency in English.
Okay, Zhang. I can improve my fluency. Don't hop, Zhang.
Yeah, hope.
Just a
Yes, hope.
Yeah. Okay. Now, you know something, Zhang? I'm totally impressed. Okay. A couple points here. Zhang, because you use the subordinator, the word after, often time words, you are pretty much absolutely forced to make a complex sentence. Now, this going out to anybody out there who is interested in taking an IELTS or a TOEFL or a TOEIC or a CAE, uh, here's some advice. If I asked you to form a sentence using a subordinator, like after, during, when, guess what? You have no freaking choice whatsoever but to make a complex sentence. Thus, logically, it follows if you use subordinators when speaking, which signal time or sequence, you're going to have to make complex sentences or even compound complex sentences, which means you're making much more complicated sentence structures, which means if you're taking an IELTS, TOEIC, or TOEFL, you're going to get a higher score. So for those of you interested in taking one of these tests, don't worry about, I need to make a more complicated sentence structure. No, worry about using subordinators, like after, during, before, okay? And then you have no choice. Zhang, this is a perfect sentence. Now, Zhang, we're going to try something. We're going to try something else.
Okay.
All right, don't be nervous. All right, using a relative pronoun, that, which, possibly who or when. Okay. Obviously, when do you go to work? Who do you work with? Which office do you work in? These are question words. These are interrogatives, they're called. But they can also be used to introduce a dependent clause. Okay. Zhang, for example,
Yes.
the car, which I sold to the man, is a piece of junk. All right, the car is a piece of junk is my essential information, is my independent clause. Which I sold to the man is a relative clause. I don't really need it, but it's extra information I want you to know. Okay,
Yes.
I'm making a complex sentence by using a relative pronoun and a relative clause. Zong, pick one, that or
Okay.
which or who. I want you to try making a complex sentence.
Now I'm living in Hong Kong, which is a vibrant city.
Whoops. Okay, wait a minute. Now, this is interesting. I am. Are you from Hong Kong?
Yes.
Okay. Which is what?
Vibrant city. Vibrant. Maybe I might pronounce it vibrant.
What? Favorite?
Vibrant. Yes.
Vibrant.
Yeah. Vibrant. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now there's two problems here. You need an article.
Yeah.
You need to count it, which is because city, 1 city, 2 city, 3 city, 4 cities, I can count it. So anytime I have a countable noun, all right, I need to designate that it's one by using an article. Either generally, one of many, a or n, or specific, the. Now I'm living in Hong Kong, which is a vibrant city. Okay, no, I love your adjective. I love your vocabulary here. I'm sorry, it takes me a while to catch up, Zong.
Yes, because my mispronounce it.
Well, also because I broke my headphones, the Hangout isn't working properly, and I didn't get enough sleep, Zong.
Okay. Yes.
It's not you, buddy. It's not you. Really, it's not you. Uh, Zong,
So
I really can't stress how much I appreciate you joining the class. Thank you so much.
yes.
Um,
My
I owe
pleasure
you one.
too. Yes.
Well,
My
I owe
pleasure too. Yeah.
well, I owe you one. Okay, now wait a minute. Let's look at your sentence here. Now, every sentence, we must remember, every sentence that you ever make, if you add in dependent clauses, every sentence you ever construct must have an independent clause, a subject and a verb, and it must make sense. Now, I'm not
Okay.
saying that we don't have that, but let's look. Now I am living in Hong Kong. Does that make sense by itself? Obviously, I and am
Li
living. We have a subject and a verb.
yes.
Now I am living in Hong Kong. Does that make sense to you?
Now I live in Hong Kong. Not I'm living, right?
No, no, no. I have no problem with your verb tense, with your present continuous verb tense, am living. Because you especially because you use now, actually, I would also choose to use present continuous whenever I use the adverb now, generally
Oh,
speaking.
okay. Yes.
No, I like your choice of verb tense. Um, now I am living in Hong Kong, which is a vibrant city. Actually, this is a complete thought. There's no problem with it. Now, normally in English, I would probably, these crazy adverbs, they can be moved around. I would probably say, I am living in Hong Kong now,
Oh, okay.
which is the vibrant city. That is the only problem I have with this sentence. Which is a vibrant city? Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Very good. All right, you're doing it here. Wow. Which suddenly looks very weird. Okay, I want you to try to. Okay, that's fine. Your sentence is fine here. It's just not the usual place to put an adverb. I want you to try doing something else here. I want you to try to put a relative clause in the middle of the sentence.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second, Zhang. I'm going to show you an
Yes.
example of that after I say hello to Michael. Hi, Michael.
Okay.
Michael, can you hear me? Michael? Wow, there is something really weird going on. I can only talk to people from China. Zong, it's on, baby. It's World War III. You guys, welcome to the end of the world, which I've been predicting for many years and is finally
Okay.
here. Whoa, that's a compound complex sentence. We're learning English as the world burns. I feel like Nero. I'm just fiddling, and the world is burning, and here I am teaching English. Seriously, let me play a tune for you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, it's all over here. The world is burning, and here we are learning English. Okay. I'm just fooling around. Okay. I want you to try something else. I want to show you an example, Zong. Let's take a look at this. Let's try making a sentence with an adjective clause. If you can see this, all right? The woman who called my mom sells cosmetics. I want you to put the extra information, the
Okay.
dependent clause, in the middle of the sentence. The book that Jonathan read is on the shelf. So the essential information, the book is on the shelf. I want you to see if you can do that. You want to try that for me?
Um, the company that I working is focusing on wireless communication.
Okay, wait a minute. The company
That I'm working. Oh, yes.
that I, whoops, capital I, of course, that I am?
Working in
Yeah, all right. That I am working in. Chink.
is focusing. Focus. Oh no. Focus on. Focus on. Focus on is better.
Focused or focusing? It could be either one, Zong. Oh,
Okay.
wait.
Is focusing. Okay. Is focusing on wireless communication.
He's focusing on pornographic information. Is that what you said?
Wireless communication. Wireless. Oh no, not porn.
Pornographic information. That's what Zong said. Okay. Company is focusing on pornographic information.
Okay.
Zong, I'm just playing with you, buddy.
Yes.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right, I'm just having fun. Okay, what is your company focusing on?
Wireless communication.
Wireless.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay. That's so much more boring, Zong, but okay,
Yeah.
fine. All right, fine. Okay, the company that I'm working in is focusing on wireless communication. Notice the way that I wrote this sentence. This is something, Zong, frankly, which confuses the hell out of me, and I'm sure it does you too. The thing that I'm talking about is, why do I separate this relative clause in the middle of a sentence with commas? Well, perhaps I don't even have to. It has to do with the idea, is this essential information? Is it essential to the information in the sentence in order for it to make sense? Well, sometimes that is a very, very difficult decision, and it is up to the speaker if the speaker feels that it makes sense or not. Notice I've removed the commas, and according to Microsoft Word documents, that is totally okay. So this is a weird, weird thing. All right? So many verb tenses are, it depends on the intention or the purpose of the speaker. Here is a case where sentence structure grammar is dependent on the intention or the idea of the speaker. Is it essential for you to understand the information I'm communicating to you? Yes. So, here's the thing. All right. What if I put the commas here? Okay. Now according to Microsoft Word, that's wrong. According to Microsoft Word, they don't feel that I need these commas.
Yes.
But, who cares what Bill Gates thinks, Zong? I don't. Bill Gates, who is a nice guy, can be wrong. Let's try that one. Okay.
Oh, okay. Can't be wrong. Yes.
Wait. Bill Gates, who is a nice enough guy. Wait. Can't spell today. Amongst my other problems. Zong, is there an earthquake in Taiwan or Hong Kong or something?
No.
Okay.
Now it's fine. Yes.
All
Maybe both of us have spent so many time watching the football game, right?
Oh, that's what it is. Let's blame it on the World Cup. Okay.
Yes.
The World Cup, which is very entertaining, has destroyed the internet. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Now, according to Microsoft Word, this second sentence, Bill Gates, who is a nice enough guy, can be wrong. Now, notice I put in the commas here, Zhang, and yet, this is a complex sentence which includes a relative clause. I put in the commas, and this time, Microsoft Word Documents wants to tell me that this is correct with the
Okay.
commas. So here, the relative clause is considered by Bill Gates and all of his evil minions to be correct. um, Zong, you know something? I forgot to ask you. Zong, do you know Bill Gates?
Yes. Yes.
No, I mean personally?
Personally, I don't know. I just read
Okay.
some books and articles about him.
Okay. Well, Zong, I was concerned. Maybe he's a friend of yours, and I'm going to make you mad if I. Okay. All right.
I
Okay.
wish he's a
I,
friend of mine.
yeah, me and you both, Zong. Me and you both. Okay. All right. Bill Gates, who is a nice enough guy, can be wrong. Now, in this sentence, my relative clause um, is separated out, is cordoned off, is roped off by using two commas. In this case, my sentence is correct, according to Microsoft.
Okay.
Uh, but you notice in your sentence, the company that I'm working in is focusing on wireless communications. Bill Gates and Microsoft would prefer that I do not use commas. You know what? I don't want you to worry about this, Zong. I just don't.
Okay.
If you're writing a professional email, you're writing something for your company, uh, do you use a comma or not? Um, Here is a clue, all right? If you use a relative pronoun like who, which, when, uh, the company where I work is about to go bankrupt. All right. If you
Yeah.
could be where no, 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 not your company, Song. I know you're hiding in the bathroom, but no. In general, when you use an interrogative, a W, a question word, who, where, when, which, in general, okay, there are definitely exceptions. In general, when you use one of those, you're going to use the commas in writing. In general, all right?
Okay.
In general, when you use that, which you can substitute as a relative pronoun, you don't need to use the commas. Whoa, that is a very general thing, okay? You're not
Yeah.
going to read that in a grammar book, but
Yeah.
in my experience, this is the case. Wow, the Hangout is doing some absolutely freaky stuff. I see your picture, my picture. I can't talk to Michael. Um, the screen is going vertically up and down in my browser. Zhang, is everything normal as far as the Google Hangout is concerned in your viewing?
No, I can view you. I can see you clearly,
Okay.
and the voice is clear.
And
Nothing
your
is wrong.
screen
So
is nothing's wrong.
yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, Zhang, that means that China has attacked the Philippines, where I live, with some kind of a super bug. I hope I survive this, Zhang. Can you tell the government of China to please stop this? Okay, this is
Okay.
all right. This is not good.
I
Um,
hope I can have that kind of power. I can give some advice to my government.
Zhang, who is secretly the president
China.
of the Republic of China, is now going to take care of my problems. Thank you,
Okay.
Zhang. Thanks for
Okay.
the international diplomacy. Um,
Okay.
Zhang, I really can't thank you enough. And Michael as well. Michael as well. Both of you guys, thank you for joining me. I'm I apologize to all the other viewers for the weird technological problems, but I'll catch you next time. I'll throw my computer in the street and buy a new one, and I'll see you later. Thanks,
Okay.
Zhang.
Bye bye. See
All
you next
right.
day.
All right. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Yes.